Hi and welcome back to The Realm. Today we're drawing a dramatic coastal landscape complete with cliffs, crashing waves and a soaring blue wyvern. Grab your pens and pencils and I'll walk you through it step by step. This scene is actually part of my brand new hand-drawn realm, accompanying the land of Yanut and Dragon Tooth Bay. If you're into world building, you can check out the full map drawing over on my channel. Every week I'm adding a little bit more. Anyway, let's get drawing. Start with your pen or pencil in the bottom left hand of the page and draw some textured undulating lines going up and down towards the bottom. Build a second shape across, so we're doing a hedgerow detail, and then we're going to work just above this, creating a hillside with trees. Start with drawing the trunk and branches, just so you can kind of Y shape to the branches. And then add in similar sort of textured shapes, build around the branch details you've put in, before adding a second tree, a little bit smaller below, repeating the shapes we've just done. Then draw the hillside down into the bottom center of the page, and add some more vegetation details if you want to. On the other side, we draw another hillside emerging and add in another small tree at the edge with a slight bend in the trunk. Again, just building out textured lines around, adding a bit more vegetation using the same technique as before. And again, do as many or little of these as you want, but I quite like quite a few of these bush and tree details, building towards the edge of the page. In the middle right area, add in some more textured vegetation details using a mixture of diagonal, horizontal and textured lines. And we're going to draw a path bisecting those two hill areas, just using rough sketchy lines either side. Moving to the middle area of the drawing, on the left hand side, draw some small island or rocky outcrop shapes using more angular shapes, and then just above the tree line add in textured curvy lines for the beach line before adding some more rock details using more jagged lines. Around the center of the page we'll draw two fishing boats. These will be sail driven, and start with a curving lower line, square off at the back before adding a few horizontal lines and a slightly darker shade for the top. Draw a thin vertical rectangle for the sail and then two lines going down for rope details, and then a few horizontal lines for water effect. Just above, draw a second boat, starting similar, just a curving line and a squared off feature at the back. Keep it sketchy. This one will draw a physical sail on, so do a horizontal line at the top and then have it curving outwards. So one boat with a sail and one with the sail down. Moving to the top of the page, we're going to draw the wyvern dragon and start with his head about a third way down from the top of the page. It should be fairly angular shape, but leave a gap for the mouth. And sort of triangles pointing away from the head for horns. As we get to the neck, this wants to curve downwards, but use jaggedy lines to give that texture of the back. Starting on the top end, and then doing a sort of S shape downwards towards the belly. From there, have the legs curving out and then down almost vertically, with zigzaggy lines for the claws, and then just match that shape for the inner leg in towards the body. We'll now draw the first wing on the left hand side. On the right hand side, go quite high upwards towards, but stop at the top of the page because it's going to be caught off the end of the page. Underneath, creating a kind of curve out for the wing detail, almost like bat wings. And then drawing lines curving out across the wing for the bone structure. You can double some of these up and have other ones just going towards the pointy areas of the wing. Let's draw the tail. So again, adding zigzag lines with texture curving round underneath. Thinning out towards the bottom and then getting wider towards the top again. And then just behind the head, draw the second wing curving out from the head. And again, do that kind of bat wing detail. And then match back in just back towards the body. And then we want to add just those curving lines for the bone detail of the second wing. Maybe just a little bit smaller, less intrusive as it's further away. And there's the, just another one more line. And you can add a few more lines or details just to give it a sense of movement and energy. And there's the dragon done. We'll add in the horizon line horizontally across the page, but again use sort of broken lines and textures. And roughly in the middle of the page, start drawing an island shape, just rising up as kind of textured triangles. Just adding a little shading underneath with little shapes for rocks into the sea. Do as few as you like, but it does add a bit of realism. And towards the right hand of the page, we're going to rise up from the sea diagonally towards the top of the page, and these are the landscape in the closer foreground. Adding a few textured dashes and lines for grass and tree features. And then work your way along the bay with little bits jutting outwards, using a mix of straight lines for rock and then wavy lines for tree details. And this bit makes up the headland which kind of encloses Dragon's Tooth Bay on the map. And you might just go over a few more details and we're almost there. Maybe add another mountain in the background. And a little bit of shading on the back island as well, just to give it that texture. And there we have the line work. So what's left is to colour. Now I'm going to use colour pencils here. I'm keeping it fairly simple, the mixture of creams, yellows, blue obviously with the sea, and some olive green. I won't be talking through the colouring, so just watch along, grab some ideas or colour it your own way. While that's playing, I'll read you a short legend I wrote. It's the story of Freyna and the blue wyvern of Dragon Tooth Bay. I'm adding a bit more world building into my drawings lately, just to build out the realm a bit more. Let me know in the comments if you like this kind of thing. I'd love to know what you think. Okay, watch and enjoy. The land of Yanut, also known as the Dragon's Tooth for its jagged coastline, is home to the Yarni people, firm and hardy fisherfolk who live in the shadow of Galthir, the blue dragon. Of old, Galthir plagued the Yarni people for generations, preying on those who wandered too far, snatching cattle in the night, and burning outposts to cinders. In legend, the brave folk of Ashfurrow mustered a force of hundreds and marched on the caves of Dinbarrow, where Galthir slumbered. But Galthir was keen of ear and emerged in fury, meeting them with searing breath and iron claws. It is said that, watching from afar, was Freyna, daughter of the Landons of Ashfurrow. Too young to fight, she had secretly followed her father and siblings some way behind, bearing a basket of salted fish and bread to share in victory. As she saw the smoke rising from the mouth of the caves, Freyna ran to their aid, but she found the dragon, vast and gleaming blue in the fading light, feasting on those who remained alive. Unafraid, Freyna stepped forward, her eyes a flood of tears. Yet her outstretched arm was unwavering as it held out an offering of salted fish to the dragon. Galthir paused, then took the fish in his mighty jaws, and as he swallowed it whole, his stomach grumbled with pleasure, shaking the very ground beneath them. Taking her opportunity, Freyna called on the remaining survivors, her brother Ammit among them, and guided them back to the safety of Ashfurrow. From this day onward, a great stone of offering was placed at the northern edge of Ashfurrow, where the people leave a tithe of salted fish in daily tribute, a simple gift in exchange for peace. And Galfir no longer preys on the Yarni people, but instead watches over their fishing fleets with his keen yellow eyes and a keener hunger still. Well, that's it for this week. Thanks for drawing and exploring with me today. If you enjoyed creating this dragon drawing, there's lots more to come from the realm, so make sure you're subscribed and keep your pencils ready. And I'd love to know, what did you think of the drawing? And what about the Legend of Freyna? Would you like to see more of this content in the future? Drop a comment below and let me know. See you next time.